Hiya folks, Nigel. Excellent books here. Winnie, Mo's just here. Are you going to make an appearance? Yes, you are. Of course you are, babes. So we've got a mid-month reading recap. Let's start off. So it's a catch-up, really. We're in the back garden. Not in a library, but we've got to run with what we've got to run with. I'm going to start off the month with Melmoth the Wanderer, Galahad and the Grail, this book really surprised me, to be fair. Really surprised me. Come on out, the plastic. Took it away on holiday with us. A Fig for All the Devils by C.S. Fritz. And I'm not going to talk about Edgar. He's going to get his own one. So, here we go. Melmoth the Wanderer by Charles Maturin. This seemed to take forever for me to read. It starts out, young man, Melmoth, running out of money, so he goes to see his rich uncle, who's the only family member he's got, who's dying, with the hope of seeing him before he dies and inheriting all the money. And all he remembers of this old man is him being really tight and really unpleasant, but he's funded him all his life because he got, you know, his parents died early. And he's all so-called Melmoth. So there's 3 Melmoths in it. Great Melmoth, who's been alive for over 150 years. Now, he was the character in the book that I wanted more about. He sold his soul to the devil, obviously, for a longer life and power. But instead of going through all of that from his point of view, you get, I think it's 4, 5 stories about random people that he comes into. And it was just, it was really hard work. If you want to read a book from this timeline, when was it first written? Let's have a look. (1820s), from around that time period, I would say read The Monk instead. Much better, in my opinion. This is heavily religious. The Monk's heavily religious, but that's got a few different stories that tie it all together. This has got a few different stories that are meant to tie it together, but I think it just don't come up to the mark, in my opinion. And I was a lot let down by this book, but I finished it. And yeah, it was a proper struggle. Read The Monk instead. I forget what he's called. Second book I read, and I read that while I was in America, coming back from America, Right, and there you go. Second book, long awaited, Galahad and the Grail by Malcolm Guite, in a ballad form. He's writing a massive Arthurian legendarium, and this is the first one in the set of 4, I think. Next one's meant to be out in November. I've already pre-ordered it, 32 quid, thank you very much, but it's worth it. I will also get it in paperback, and it's just an absolutely brilliant book. Big print, easy to read, even if you're not English and don't know the Arthurian legends, Galahad and the Grail part of it. But all the way through it, there's just excuse me, fantastic plates that link. Get my tits out for you. That link the story. There's another one, look, as they're entering the wastelands. And it's just a fantastic book. And I've done a few shorts on this, shorter ones, but they all start off these old-fashioned, there is a word for them but I've forgotten, and I must admit I enjoyed trying to find what the picture, hello baby, hello lovey, meant. Is there no birds for you to shout at? Good girl. But a brilliant book. I highly recommend that. Highly recommend it. Even if you're not into your poetry or Arthurian legend, it's so easy to read. Fantastic. And he's got a brilliant website as well on YouTube. I think this is going to be quite a shorty video, to be fair. But I have got some others coming up. I've got my Edgar, I'm going to do that as a separate one, as my reading challenge. I've got a few tags to do. I've got an answer to one of Mike's questions at Bibliophile Reads. So they'll be coming up quite quickly, because tomorrow I'm going in for my hernia operation. So I won't be in work for 5 to 7 weeks, because they're not doing it laparoscopy. That's where they have 3 little 10mm, like 1/4 of an inch incisions. They get the Darth Vader machine in there and do it all like that. I've got a different surgeon. He's much more old-fashioned. He's going to open me up, do it. He thinks he gets better results by it. I've checked him out. His death rate's not very high, so that's good. Fingers crossed, it's not my day tomorrow. But going on the death theme, we have, and this was just a random pick off the shelves in Waterstones as I was in Meadowhall, the shopping centre. I just thought, I've not heard of that, sounds different, I'll give it a punt. I think it was only like 9 quid. Since reading it, it's won IBPA Gold Winner for Best Horror. I'm not going to spoil it to you, but I'm going to read the blurb on the back. An abused, grief-stricken and impoverished Sonny has all but given up on life, that is, until he meets death. By the way of the Grim Reaper. The Reaper, a junk food-loving, poetry-reading, cigarette addict entity, has no time to waste as he searches for a suitable successor who would become death for the next millennium. By training the boy in the ways of death and dying, Reaper grooms his young apprentice, and though suspenseful and horror-laced events, he unknowingly gives Sonny something he never intended, a reason to live. So I picked it up. I mean, it is a really quick read, you know. Absolute lovely big print, and it's about Sonny. He loses his dad. His mother's always hated him. She gets shacked up. These aren't spoilers. This is all in the first 2 chapters that maybe, let's see, 1 to 10 pages long, so you can stand in the shop and read it. She gets shacked up with her, and he adored his dad. He's about 10 to 13 years old. She moves, takes him with her. She's hated him all of his life. She shacks up with this psychopath who tortures animals for fun, strangles Sonny, chokes an old lady. He's just an horrible piece of work. But death comes. Now, some of the reviews I've read after this book say death wouldn't talk like that. Death wouldn't be like that. Death for this, death that. And to give it a bit of a kicking. Now, you've got to think, he's been around for a millennium. He's addicted to junk food. He's a smoke addict. But he's absolutely hilarious. And how he interacts with Sonny, he's got to interact with him because it's a young 10 to 13 year old child who's into horror films. So it can't be the all powerful entity that he comes in Meet Joe Black and all them others. He angles him to this little kid. And it is a laugh out loud. There are sections of it I proper laughed, which is very rare for me in books. And there are other bits in it that make your throat choke up. I didn't shed a tear, but it was a close call on certain bits of it. This, if you can get hold of it, very short read, as I say. It's got like, I don't know, 250 pages, but they're not, you know, they're not hard to read. And it's just how the devil tries to steer Sonny into becoming, not the devil, the Grim Reaper tries to steer Sonny into becoming the Grim Reaper for the next millennium. a fantastic little book, and I really enjoyed it. Let's keep it short, keep it simple. Stay gorgeous, folks, and I will see you on the next one. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.